This is News Always On. Defense Secretary James Mattis said Monday that the Pentagon will build tent camps at 2 U.S. military bases to house people who cross the southern border illegally, noting the expanded role in immigration enforcement is part of the Armed Services Logistics and Support Mission. The defense chief did not give details about the locations of the bases that would contain the camps. As for how the process began, he said other government agencies had asked the Pentagon for help in housing detained migrants. The news comes 1 week after President Trump said, quote, "The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility, not on my watch." The secretary described the plan to reporters on board his plane as he traveled to Asia to visit his counterparts in China, South Korea, and Japan. Of the military's plan to build camps, Mattis said, "Providing shelter for people without shelter, we consider that to be a logistics function that is quite appropriate." Mattis compared the temporary camps to the military's response during a humanitarian crisis. He said, quote, "This is something that we can do, again, whether it be refugee boat people from Vietnam, people who've been knocked out of their homes by a hurricane. Absolutely, it's appropriate the military provide logistic support however it's needed." The Trump administration has pledged zero tolerance for illegal immigration, and the president has shaped and reshaped the policy. Meanwhile, the U.S. government separated more than 2,500 children from their parents at the border over a recent weeks-long period. Over the weekend, the Department of Health and Human Services said that it has been able to reunite 522 of those children with their families after they were taken into custody by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials. The president altered his policy last week after the family separation policy stirred a nearly universal outrage. As a result, family units who are taken into custody after immigrating illegally are now subject to being detained together. According to NPR, Trump's policy brought accusations that it was both illegal and cruel to separate migrant families, putting children into large holding facilities hundreds of miles away from their parents and caregivers. This also raised serious questions about what the government was doing to keep track of those kids to ensure their parents could find them. The backlash includes a satirical takeoff on the president's actual resort business website, endingin.com. The website trumphotels.org highlights images of detained children and adults living in fenced cages inside warehouse-like structures, instead of photos of pools and golf courses. Republicans in Congress have pledged to pass a new immigration law aimed at addressing concerns about migrant safety and legal protection, while also satisfying conservatives who want to clamp down on illegal border crossings. Over the weekend, Trump tweeted, "We cannot allow all of these people to invade our country. When somebody comes in, we must immediately, with no judges or court cases, bring them back from where they came. Our system is a mockery to good immigration policy and law and order." For more on this, subscribe to our channel.